Meg Price Audio. Hear it, feel it, know it. Everyone come to the dining room. We're about to bring Bobby's cake to him. Angie shouted above the crowd noise as she placed the second candle into the chocolate fudge cake. Elder Jacobs leaned over to Pastor John and chuckled.
Hard to believe Babble and Bobby's been with us 2 years already.
What did you just call him? Pastor John asked with a scowl of disapproval. He was a large man, made to look even larger and more menacing by the black shirt buttoned to the top despite the heat and matching pants that were his hallmark. I sure wouldn't let Angie or Brian hear you refer to their blessed son that way.
Sorry, Pastor, course not.
Jacob stammered, his face reddening from embarrassment.
Let's go get that slice of cake. Angie makes the best desserts in the whole community.
He quickly walked off to get away from Pastor John's wrath. Everyone filled the spacious dining room. Despite its large size, there wasn't enough room to accommodate everyone in attendance. The overflow crowded around the entranceway in an effort to get a glance of the cake and the young boy who'd made such an impression on their community since his arrival. Rumors of Bobby's gift had spread beyond their community as well. In fact, in the last year, the size of Pastor John's congregation had grown by over 50%, which was one reason the aging pastor felt protective of this young miracle. "Here it comes!" someone shouted. The kitchen door separated to let Angie through with the oversized cake, with 2 large candles burning on top. "Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday to you!" Everyone began singing. Bobby's eyes grew larger. The brown of his irises perfectly matched the dark chocolate icing. He waved his arm in time to the beat of the song. "He's such a dear. Look at him. What a smile." Everyone cooed. But as the song ended and Angie placed the cake in front of her son, something changed. First on Bobby's face and then radiating out to the crowd like the vibratory wave moving out from the epicenter of an earthquake. As Bobby stared at the flames of the 2 candles, his facial expression changed from the innocent glee of a young boy to the thoughtful demeanor of intelligence far beyond his years. Bobby closed his eyes for a moment, and his breath became slow and shallow. When he opened his eyes, Bobby was gone, and something else had taken his place. Then erupted the voice from the small boy that the members of the charismatic Christian church had grown to know and respect, though with some trepidation. It was the voice that had attracted the attention from dozens of other charismatic churches in the Southeast. It was hard to imagine how such a deeply bass voice could come from such a small boy, or that his vocal cords could even produce such a range of sounds. But that was just part of the miracle that consistently silenced the crowd. Angie and Brian instinctively made their way to their son, standing behind his chair. They each reached out and placed a hand on his shoulder. An angelic look of peace on Brian's face, a look of troubled worry on Angie's. As Bobby spoke in tongues, his eyelids opened to reveal a stark whiteness.
"He's with God for sure,"
Elder Jacobs whispered, leaning over to the person standing next to him. When he realized he was once more talking to Pastor John, he cleared his throat and shuffled off, placing a couple of other congregants between him and the pastor. The unintelligible babble continued to pour from Bobby for close to 3 minutes. Finally, he stopped talking and his eyes rolled back to their normal position. Without glancing around, he climbed out of the dining room chair that had served as his throne for the last several minutes and waddled into the living room, where he went immediately to a pile of new toys he'd received for his birthday. One of the most popular presents this year was building blocks, having received 3 different sets from 3 families with young children. Sitting down on the plushly carpeted floor, Bobby pulled the blocks closer to him and began to build. After a few minutes, the crowd that gathered around him began to mumble. "Amazing. What is it? Is that what I think it is?"
"It's a tower."
"How is he able to do that at his age?" "How is he able to do it at any age?" "My God, it's—" Pastor John stepped forward. "It's a tower of Babel. Let us pray." Obediently, everyone bowed their heads. "Our Father, who art in heaven." Pastor John's clear, deep voice rang out over the gathering of his congregants. By the time the Lord's Prayer was finished, Bobby's tower had grown taller than he was, making it necessary for him to stand on the hassock of his mother's chair to continue the building process. In less than 20 minutes, the structure had grown to almost 5 feet.